Hi everyone, it's Shamila Ramjawan from the Red Corner Show. My guest today is Lily Patrascu, who is in the UK, and she's going to be chatting to us with her inspirational stories as being one of the biggest publishers around, helping others publish their works. She's also a personal branding coach, book publisher. Stop losing clients. Monetize your expertise with a book. I love that. Hello, Lily. How are you doing?
Thank you so much, Shamila, for inviting me to your amazing Red Corner chat. And I have to say, I admire you a lot because you always look fantastic all the time, and that's an amazing achievement.
Thank you so much. That's a great compliment. Thank you. I try my best even during COVID. Lily, such an interesting person, interesting journey, and you are just out there trying to help everybody. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm a book publisher, personal branding coach, and founder of Brand for Speakers, Speakers Are Leaders, and other programs designed to help entrepreneurs just like you to enhance their personal brand and attract more business. And I came from Romania years ago with 2 suitcases full of hopes and dreams and 100 euros in my pocket. And it was only when I published my first book that my entire future changed, and I got to meet my partner, Harry Sardinas, who gave me the opportunity to manage his businesses. And since then, I have helped thousands of other people to enhance their personal brand, and I've spoken in front of more than 10,000 people worldwide in Singapore, Peru, Mexico, the UK, and United Arab Emirates. And I've been invited to 10 other countries to speak where I haven't even got the opportunity yet to go, like Colombia, Costa Rica, Uruguay, and many other places. And that's all because of the power of a book.
Wow, that is amazing. So you have this motto, stop losing clients. What do you mean by that?
That's a great question. So a lot of people go about their lives and they do their normal business and they don't realize the power of writing a book. And where a lot of other people write a book and they just write their personal story. And what I think that is a missed opportunity, because either if you don't write your experience, your story, into a book that is published, and if it's not a book that will make you more well-known worldwide, what happens, it's a missed opportunity. And that is why people perhaps don't see you as a credible authority and they're not willing to part with their money. So when you publish the right book, which enhances your personal brand, makes you more well-known for the topic you want to be known for, then you have so many ways that you can leverage that book into multiple streams of income. So for example, you can have a book that you can just use as a business card. So when I started, when I published my first book, I was using a book in order to gift it to potential clients. And it was those exact clients that were renting the properties I was trying to rent. And because of that, I was able to reduce the number of viewings from 20 to only 2. And that's because of the enhanced credibility associated with having the book. Because when you have a book, and let's say you're selling properties, or let's say you're selling coaching, or you're selling anything at all, first of all, it leads to a personal transformation because it helps you structure your thoughts, and then it helps you coach other people as well if you write it in the same way that you would coach a client, for example.
That is actually quite interesting. So, we know everything starts with personal branding, and people need to know you to recognize a book, maybe. So why is it important for someone to write a book? Do you think it's important for someone to elevate their personal branding first? Because if I'm given a book, and if I don't know the person, I'm going to think, okay, is it interesting for me to read? Because now I'm going to invest my time in reading this book. Or what are your thoughts on that?
That's a very good question. So I think it depends on where you are right now. But I think anybody, any entrepreneur, coach, there are a lot of people who are, I guess it doesn't really matter if you're making a lot of money or not. all that matters is that from the moment that you structure your thoughts and you publish a book, and it's not necessarily about your story, but it's about how your story can help other people, and you turn that into a system that other people can follow, that is when you kind of, after you publish the book, what happens is that you start to become aware of the need to market it. And when you think about that, okay, how do I market this book? You also think about, how do I market myself? And the book can be an amazing tool for enhancing your perceived value. So for example, let's say right now, how much is your personal net worth? Let's say it's, I don't know, 100,000, or let's say it's 10,000, right? Now, from the moment that you have written the right book and you start speaking about it everywhere, what happens is that people will start to notice you, right? So what value are you going to give to something or someone that you don't know? Not much. But from the moment that you start speaking everywhere, your value starts to increase, your perceived value. So for example, every time you do anything at all, you get invited to stuff like this, you get invited to interviews. Why? And then that is a great opportunity for you to promote your business. And if you don't have a book, then it's almost like you're just doing a normal business, and you're not really focusing on marketing yourself as well as you could. And it's only when you write a book that you become a bit more creative about, okay, I could actually turn this book into an online course. I could turn it into a workshop. I could turn it into a business card to give to certain clients. I could do so many different things with that. And when you do that, that is when you enhance your personal brand. That is when you become more well-known. So I think for me, the book comes first, but in the process of writing the book, you have to go through the process of figuring out what are your colors going to be like, what is your brand consistency going to be like, is your brand going to be about, what are your values, what message you want to share. So when you clarify all of that, you clarify your brand as well. And I think a lot of people go out on social media and they don't have a clear message. And because they don't have a clear message, that's why people don't connect with their message. And that's why they're not building a tribe. But with a book, you structure your thoughts, you structure your ideas, and that is when your message becomes more clear, ideally, if you have written the right book. Now, if you wrote a book about your experience and you don't have a clear message that you want to share, then that is when maybe you write the book, but then what are you going to do with it? You're not too sure about it. So, yeah.
What would be your best advice to someone who hasn't written a book, okay, but they want to write a book? Do you think they should actually first share their personal stories or their life, more like a bio, and then get into their product and services? Or what are your thoughts along those lines?
So I see a lot of people, I would say actually most people want to write a book about their story. Now, I would say that a lot of people don't care so much about your story unless you can turn it into a system, into a blueprint, into a model, into something that other people can use. So what I would say is that you can totally leverage your story and your series of stories that you have, but put that into a model that other people can use. So that, for example, let's say if I wanted to coach you how to write a book, or let's say I wanted to coach you how to be happier, I would have to have a structure of, okay, do this first, do this second, do this third, do this fourth. And based on those steps, maybe I could have a story from my personal life about how I've personally applied that, right? So the whole idea is not for me to share my bio. The whole idea is to share these steps, these coaching steps, and how this has worked for me, how this has worked for my clients, and how this can work for you as well. So technically you would have the structure for the entire system, that is your book. And then you would have 3 key elements for each thing you're coaching. How this worked for me, how this worked for my clients, and how this can work for you. And this is really essential. If you don't do it like this, then it's like if you're sharing just facts, if you're sharing just stories, and you're not telling the point of the story, that is when people are not learning. And that is when your book doesn't become as popular as you would like in terms of turning it into multiple streams of income. It's great to have just a book, but it's good to think about how can this book become Also a workshop, a coaching program, a group coaching program, a one-to-one coaching program, different things that you can make with it, right? Like how can it be a podcast or, YouTube video trainings and so on. So how can I turn one story that I have, my big story, my big message, how can I turn that into useful content that can be used on a multi-purpose way, around the world.
Wow, that is amazing. So Lily, how many books did you actually write? I know you helped publish a lot of books as well. Take me through that. That's very interesting.
So I published 4 books in my name and 20 that are written and published or in the course of being published for other speakers and trainers and coaches.
And all those books behind you on your virtual background, what does that mean? Are those the books that you actually published?
Yes, these are some of the books of authors, speakers, and trainers that I have helped to coach so that they can get published. Some of them are published, some of them are about to be published. Yeah, so these are some of the people that I have helped. You can see them there.
Wow, that's amazing. Well done. So you actually speak on international stages. Do you want to maybe share a story with us?
Sure. So one amazing thing about speaking is that every speaking opportunity is an opportunity for you to open doors for yourself. One such opportunity was in January 2018 when I came on stage just to share a testimonial from my partner, Harry Sardinas, about how he helped me with my public speaking, overcoming the fear of speaking on stage. And that was at the event where Les Brown was speaking. And, that was it was a big event with 1,300 people. And Harry spoke at the same event. And what happened was that at the end of his speech, people ran to the back of the room, and there were some people who wanted to purchase, and some people were even pushing their credit card towards me and wanted to purchase. And we had to vacate the room really quickly. And what happened was that I finally managed to charge this gentleman who was really insistent. He really wanted to join the course. And it was only months later when he came to the course that we realized how, what a high profile he had. And he actually co-organized an event with us where he invited a billionaire to come and speak at our event. And he said, he knows not just one billionaire, but several other billionaires. And he invited us to speak in other places as well. He was ready to invite Les Brown to speak to Turkey. We were negotiating that, an event where Harry and myself and Les Brown and himself would speak in Turkey as well. Finally, we couldn't convince Les Brown to accept the fees that he wanted to offer. But the point is that this person opened a lot of doors for us, and he became a client of Speakers Are Leaders as well. And now, we're still kind of organizing events with him, and we've invited him to speak in Mexico and, other places as well. So the point of the story is that sometimes you really don't know who is sitting in front of you when you are on a stage. And it doesn't matter sometimes if you're giving an event and you're speaking on social media like you are doing now, and it could be someone really, really important, someone with a high profile who could be watching, and this person could give you an amazing opportunity that you could just never believe it could happen to you. And this is what happened with us, with him. Now we have an amazing door that has opened. He has invited us to speak at the next online exponential business growth event as well. We spoke there as well. And there were people, for example, there was a TV channel, a Turkish TV channel, who had, even bigger, bigger audience and so on. So we're still in the process of speaking to to those people who were participating in that event. And that has opened a lot of doors for us as well. So the key story is that sometimes you really don't know who is in front of you, who is watching you, and you just have to get out there and speak as much as possible, confidently, and be as charismatic as possible as well. Smile, be friendly with everyone, don't dismiss anyone, and you never know which door is going to open for you.
I believe that, and there's great advice there. You know, everybody should be accommodating, and it's so important to just be yourself and be out there. Like you said, you never know who's watching you because you're creating that visibility as well. So just, being on international stages and being the person that you are inspiring others, how do you actually get your gigs?
That's a good question. So one important thing that we do is, because we have this course called Speakers Are Leaders. And what we do is people who come and they get trained with Speakers Are Leaders, we prioritize them for speaking opportunities. So whenever we have speaking opportunities, we offer these gigs to them. So if you're someone who is thinking of becoming more confident and more charismatic, simply go to speakersareLeadersClub.com and find out more about that. But one key thing is to be proactive, and you have to get registered with as many speaking bureaus as possible. And for us, currently we have a partnership with a speaking bureau in Dubai. You personally know this person who is running it, and she's been able to find opportunities for us. And I'm not sure, but I think you're also invited to speak in the Philippines and Bhutan and all these places, India, and there's a lot of opportunities. And the whole idea is all you have to do is to be proactive. See who is running an event and ask that person whether you can speak there. Another one is a lot of these speaker training courses. After they run the course, they also offer some opportunities. And this is what we do at Speakers Are Leaders. When you register to the course, then we also give you some opportunities for you to speak as well. And keep your options open and speak everywhere, you know, in podcasts, in interviews, and you have to be out there asking people whether you can be interviewed, because that is a way for you to be seen more. And that's how you get it.
Yes, absolutely. I believe in that. You just got to create that visibility and be out there, like you said, because people need to notice you. If you're hidden somewhere, they're not going to know who Shamila is. You have to be out there. And also use social media. I think it's so important. It's such a good medium to use. You know, it's out there. It's free. Use the platforms and literally market yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I think it's important that you have a good image overall. So for example, let's say if you're going out for a meal with your friends and so on, I wouldn't post that, right? Unless you can put a very nice story about it, unless you look really glamorous like you do. You look very glamorous everywhere, right? So you're in your car, you have a beautiful, glamorous outfit. Then yeah, post that, but post that with a story, because every time, you know, in the past, I used to just post stuff in Facebook and I wouldn't post it with a story because really I was posting for myself, I'll be honest with you. But now I'm using it more to get engagement. So since this is my new goal, to get engagement, then I'm getting engagement. And that's because it's important to place a very nice picture of yourself that shows your lifestyle, kind of clients you have, the client results that you've had, and you know how they are doing, and you know the impact you're creating. Because let's say you're a photographer and people go to your page and they don't see photographs that are really cool, then it's almost like going to a photography website and not seeing photographs there. So people now expect on your social media, they expect that to be almost like a website. So if you have random stuff, let's say you have, I don't know, revolutions and photos of cats and I don't know, other stuff that is not relevant to what you do, you're missing out. That is the main way that you're losing clients. And the other thing I would say is, for example, LinkedIn is my main way of getting clients. LinkedIn also paid adverts as well. So in Facebook, I would say a lot of it is vanity social media, I would call it, because, you know, it's all about, oh, look at me, look at me, look at me. But in terms of getting clients, I would say LinkedIn is it's a much better platform for doing that, because people there are serious. You don't need a lot of clients. You just need the right clients. So at least in my case, you know, depending on the number that you're, you know, the price of the investment that people would have to pay in order to work with you, for example, right? So if you're trying to, I would say the other difference that is a really big difference between me and a lot of publishers is that a lot of publishers focus on selling books. And you think, yeah, of course, like, why wouldn't you? But my focus is mainly on how do I increase the personal value of this person so that I'm not necessarily just selling 10 books or 15 books at £2 or whatever, £1. I'm not selling that and making that person a bestseller. That's not my focus. My focus is, how do I make this person have this amazing image to go from an ordinary person, and when people look at this person on social media, how do they think that this person is worth £2,000 or £10,000 or whatever amount? How do I make that impression so that when those clients want to have their own clients, how can they do so that they can charge that without people asking them for a discount? So the whole focus is on, how do you increase your perceived value, and how do you create enough value within what you offer, and how do you have that great packaging, as in that the great image, the clarity of the message, the congruency of the colors, the congruency of what you say on social media. How do you have all of that so that you can be perceived to be worth that? So
how do you, yes, and that leads to my next question. How do you help people write and publish a book? What is the process? Do you actually have people globally, or is it just in the UK?
Yes, so I have people globally, and the most important thing is I can help them with 2 programs. One is where I can get their ideas, interview them, and have their book published, typically in 60 days. And a second process is where I coach them how to write it, and that typically takes much longer. And it depends on every single person, like how long they take to write and so on. But I do find the most effective process is the one where I have their book written, and basically ghostwritten, and then their book is done in roughly 2 months. And this is, it's quite an easy process. And I take them to the photographer and advise them what to wear. And the most important part of it is also choosing a right message. So for example, there's this client I have whose name is Jimmy Asuni, and he is from Nigeria. And I helped him to create this amazing message, which is called Dare to be Imperfect. And he has cerebral palsy, and everything is, very difficult for him compared to a lot of people. But since he has this book published, he has become more booked for a lot more speaking opportunities at the bank he works at, and also other affiliated branches of the same bank. He's created his own foundation. He's created his online course, and his seminar that was due to be running this summer as well, which was closed because of the tough challenges where we have right now. But the important thing is that even he managed to do it, and it's because of when you have clarity about your message, then everything kind of becomes easier.
So Lily, your courses that you offer, is it all online, or do you have workshops as well? And just the next question, how did COVID-19 affect you?
So COVID affected me very badly. In fact, when we met in online, right? Because I was in Peru. I was stuck for 111 days there. And the toughest part was that we hardly had any internet. And that was difficult, but we managed to get some internet working, and that's how we had a little bit blurry internet, but yeah, we had internet. And so yeah, COVID definitely affected me. But one thing I've managed to do is to continue doing my training online, and usually we have online workshops and also in-person workshops. The majority of my workshops used to be in person, but since COVID, everything is online, and that's fine. I'm happy with that. It's amazing.
Are you back into lockdown now?
Yes, we're in lockdown now in London, which is not great because I actually have a pool in the building and they closed it. But I'm hoping it will open soon, and hopefully that will be fine.
And do they tell you how long this lockdown period is going to be in London?
I'm not sure, but I heard it's going to be extended. So I actually don't mind as long as they keep the pool open, but for the moment it's closed. So that means I'm going to be chubby son, so.
Yes. But that also means during Christmas that you can't see family and all of that. So you have to just stay indoors and you can't move around.
Yes, yes, it does mean that, but it is what it is.
Yes, I think that is important to just keep everyone safe as well over the festive period.
Yeah, yeah, it's
So,
important.
so Lily, where to from here with all the books that you're publishing, the workshops that you're doing? Just one question as well. How do you get people to get onto the speaking platforms?
So the most important part is that you need training first, right? So a lot of people need training first before they get onto a speaking platform, because if you just start speaking and you have no guidance at all, then everything is just much harder. For me, it was hard to start with because I just kind of like initially just started speaking, and the truth is that I was terrified. And it was only when Harry, my partner, created Speakers Are Leaders that I started to let go. You know, it's not that my fear disappeared. My fear didn't disappear, but it just kind of gradually just withered down, you know, it just went smaller and smaller. So I managed to start speaking and more confidently worldwide. And that, you know, that's how it happened. So yeah, it's important to speak, but it's important to get guidance about speaking. And that's one important thing that I did.
Wonderful. So if somebody wants to get a hold of you and they want to get onto the Global Speaker Network, are you the person that they can come to?
Yes, of course. They can contact me at hello@lily.global. Make sure to mention that you saw me at the Shamila show, the Red Corner chat. And yeah, that would be fantastic. And I just want to leave you with that because I actually brought it on purpose. I think it's quite funny. So I want to show you very briefly. This is a piece of soap. It's green. You can't really see it because this is in green screen. And I think it's funny because, you know, I once sent Harry, when we were in Peru, to buy some detergent, right? And, you know, Harry never washes anything. So, and I knew that, but, you know, I imagine most people know what detergent is, right?
Yes.
So when he returned with this, I'm thinking, wow, you know, and this is the thought that I had when, you know, when you're trying to write and publish a book by yourself, or when you're trying to speak without guidance, it's kind of the same, right? You end up fumbling and, you know, doing silly things, and it just takes much longer. Yes. And when you know how to write and publish a book and get book to speak worldwide, and you get a guidance of a coach, then ideally you can shine like this, right? Like this is a perfume. This is not real gold, okay? But you can shine like this, right? You can shine like this, and you can get the amazing image that will allow you to charge higher prices and to distinguish and to make, you know, to distinguish yourself in the marketplace and to make a difference.
I love how you showcase the transition in terms of personal growth and personal branding. Thank you for that. But just going forward, what can we expect from you?
That's a very good question. I mean, I cannot dare to even show you my vision board because it's huge. You know, I want to impact 100 million people to be happier, to go after what they want, and to share their stories, and to create wealth with that. So my focus this year is to help people to market themselves with their books and to get on more stages, despite the tough challenges right now.
Love it. And your last message to people out there watching this?
I think another thing that I have forgotten to mention is that it's important to have a high-end product besides the book. Because if you don't, it's like, you know, I have the book. Well, the book is almost like an attention-seeking thing, right? It's almost like, oh, I'm here. But then you need to have a bigger product. And this bigger product could be, let's say, a coaching program for 2,000, for 5,000, for 10,000, for whatever it is. So you need to create some sort of coaching program or online course that you can sell, because the book is almost like it draws attention to you, but then you have to have something to sell. So if you're an entrepreneur, of course, you already have that. Maybe you're selling properties, maybe you're selling, I don't know, whatever it is you're selling. But ideally, if you need to have a bigger end, you know, a higher end product. And I have created a university, which is called Brand for Speakers University, where you can place your own online course and it's very easy to do. You just have to upload the videos one by one in sections, and then you're ready to sell your online course and to monetize your knowledge. And you can go to Brantford Speakers University for that. And overall, I just want to say a big thank you to Shamila, to yourself. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you to Red Corner Chat. You look fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Lily Patrascu. I hope I'm saying your surname correctly. Thank you so much for coming and chatting to me this evening. It's evening in South Africa. I know you're two hours behind us. And it was a great chat. And I think there's a lot of inspiration out there for people wanting to get onto the speakers platform, write a book, publish a book, whatever the case may be. And do you maybe want to share your contact details so people can get in touch with you?
Sure, so they can contact me at hello@lily.global, and you write Lily with Lily, or I guess you can message Shamila and she can also give you my contact details. Lily Patrascu, I think that will be quite hard for most people to spell, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, you said it wonderfully. That's your surname. Lily, thank you so much, and I'm sure there's going to be lots of people inquiring because people need help, and you're there to provide that help and that assistance in getting them noticed. So yes, as soon as I get inquiries, I'll pass them on to you. Any last Christmas message out there? By the way, you are the last person I'm speaking to for 2020, shutting down the show until 2021.
Ah, fantastic. I just want to wish everyone who is celebrating Merry Christmas. And if you're not celebrating that, then happy holidays and best wishes for whatever it is you're celebrating.
Wonderful. Lily, thank you so much. I wish you and your family all the best over the festive season. Take care. Keep your sanity and your mental wellness on track, because I know what the lockdown's all about. And yes, I hope to chat to you again soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.